Hello, everybody, and welcome to Silent Podcast, a place where everything but silent. I am your host, Isaiah, and I'm here with my co-host for the Total Drama Rewatch, Sabrina.
Woo, hey.
And unfortunately, Lance is not available tonight. He was not able to be here, so we'll have to update with him next week. But we have our guest, one of our other podcasters, Dylan. Dylan, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I just finished hosting my game, so I've been on the computer for like 4 hours. So why not add 2 more?
Yay.
Dylan, without going into spoiler territory, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much of a fan of Total Drama are you?
Like 10 out of 10. To be honest with y'all, I'm like one of the people that found orgs and like Survivor and Big Brother through Total Drama. So I love Total Drama, and if it wasn't for this show, I probably wouldn't have like met all of these people from the org community. So I love Total Drama.
And so how old are both of y'all? Because I feel like this is...
I'm 21.
I'm 22, okay. Turning 23 next week. So
okay, I think that makes sense because like I'm 28, and I think Lance is closer to my age too. So maybe that makes sense to like there's like the gap between like watching this show, getting into the shows before, like instead of watching the actual shows first. Like
yeah,
the crazy thing is me and him actually met in a Total Drama related community, and that's how we met when we were little. So
that is how I found ORGs, because they had like Total Drama Island, but instead they had Total Pokemon Island. And what they would do is people would just make PowerPoint presentations, and they would take Pokemon sprites and they would voice over pretending to be those Pokemon sprites.
Oh my goodness.
Just having Total Drama episodes.
That's hilarious.
Look them up. There's still some. The guy that well, one of them got deleted because the guy was a pedophile, it turned out. But the other one, his do you know who Anders is from Survivor Maryland? Well, the guy that hosts Survivor Maryland right now, Anders, he had an account called Nikki Nor 2, and he was one of the big names on there. So if you look up Nikki Nor 2, he has a whole like season of it. And
okay,
I would watch it. It's pretty interesting.
It's fun.
That's so funny.
So real quick before we even get into this episode, Sabrina, episodes 9 and 8. What's your thoughts?
9 and 8,
or a 9 and 10? Oh my goodness! Yeah.
Okay, I really liked these 2 episodes, especially the paintball one. That was one of my favorites. I think it was so fun, and there was just like good character like development there too. So I really appreciated that. And yeah, 10 was good too.
Right. All right. So we start off this episode, and basically Duncan is flipping out because he like sees a helicopter and all this stuff. Basically, Chris is doing that thing again where he wakes everybody up in some crazy manner. And we find out that today's challenge is a paintball challenge, but not the paintball war that you think. It's more of a hunter in prey type thing going on here. Basically, he's splitting up both teams. Half of the team is going to be hunters, the other half are going to be deer. And basically, the objective is shoot all the deer, and if whoever shoots the most deer wins. Sabrina, how do you think that this challenge structure-wise is going? Because the other one seemed like very like formal, like dodgeball. You got camping and surviving and canoeing. This one's a little bit out of the ordinary, but what do you think about it?
Well, first, can we talk about how Chris was dressed like Luke Skywalker in that helicopter?
Yes.
Like literally wearing the exact uniform. That was like the first thing I thought of. But the challenge itself, like, I don't think it really makes any sense, because like if you're the deer, like what do? You just hide? I don't know. It just seems like it's all about who's got like the paintball gun. Like that's really like the challenge is in their hands, and there was no like structure of like, okay, whoever gets hit first loses, or how much time you have to do it. Like it was just like go. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah. It's kind of the namesake of the show, I guess, is just like do whatever the fuck you want. I don't
pretty
care.
much. Yeah. Basically.
Chris was just collecting a check, I think.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, definitely. So some people have mixed reactions to this. Owen seems to be taking this challenge very seriously.
Like how serious you are about it.
Starts harassing people, specifically Duncan and all this stuff, calling him Bambi. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm dead.
I love how like he started going into third person whenever he was like hunting, he was just like the hunter like stalks his prey, and he just like kept doing that the entire time. And then freaking DJ, that was so he's a little deer like hopping around. I was like, oh my god.
I was like, please, DJ. Oh my
It was
god.
so cute. He stopped talking. He didn't say one word when he was being a deer. Like he was like in character. It was great.
So basically we're just seeing a lot of these deer, like Sabrina was saying, like spread out. The only person to kind of take a different approach to this is Heather. She's not really taking this challenge too seriously. She's like, I'm gonna wait for Lindsay and Beth to get here. You guys can do whatever you want. Basically, we'll get to the other parts, but let's just stick on the storyline for a little bit. Lindsay and Beth finally find Heather, and basically Heather's like, yeah, I'm not doing this. I'm hungry. Lindsay, go give me berries. Beth, go give me some chips. Like, this alliance is starting to seem like a very one-sided thing now. It's not really an alliance. It's more like a dictatorship now. How do you, before we get to Beth's reaction to all this, how do you feel about the way Heather's running this alliance?
So you can like kind of tell, like even in the beginning of the episode, that Beth is starting to like not be about this alliance anymore. I mean, Lindsay's Lindsay; she's gonna like go with whatever. But like, you can start to tell like Beth's gonna crack soon, and so like I was really excited to see her like maybe do something about it. But you could tell it was just like totally derailing at this point.
For sure. And then, I mean, for some reason, Lindsay seems to be very okay with this. I mean, she's really playing up this whole ditzy blonde thing, or maybe that's just how she is. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, Heather's really getting super comfortable, and she's not facing any opposition.
No.
Dylan, if you were in this situation, how do you think you would handle it?
In an alliance with Heather?
Yeah.
Bitch, bye. Like,
Yeah, honestly.
I'm all about, having an ally, and Heather's a great ally because she's really unlikable and people are always going to target her before you, but you're really going to make me like sacrifice my game and get shot, like, because you want me to get you like fucking chips. And then on top of that, she got angry at her because she didn't get the right chips. I was like, I like Heather, but Heather was like really out of pocket for this. Like,
honestly.
So continuing with this little saga, I mean, Beth, obviously, without going into too much detail, she goes on this whole expedition to sneak inside the kitchen, away from Chef, get the chips and everything. It's not dill pickle like Heather asked, but it's barbecue or something. I don't know.
Yeah, barbecue.
But when she finally gets it, she's like, yo, I just risked my life for some chips. Why am I doing this for Heather? I don't even like her. So I think she takes this moment where she's like, yeah, I'm done with this alliance now.
Yes. I was so happy. Whenever she said that in the confessional, she was like, I don't even like Heather. I was like, yes. Yes. I was like, rise.
It gave me very Katie from Mean Girls standing up to Regina George. I mean, it fits the time period, so I'm really into it.
Agreed. And wow, yeah, that's actually a good comparison. I didn't even think about it like that. Yeah, because I think Lance made a comparison of this alliance to Mean Girls, like when it first got formed.
Yeah,
actually,
totally. Yeah, honestly,
because it's what it is, really.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's actually based off of the name Heather comes from the movie Heather.
The movie Heathers. Okay.
So, and there was 3 Heathers in that. So,
did you say Gretchen? Yeah, or you said Katie? It was Gretchen.
Gretchen.
Yeah, Gretchen. Well, Mean Girls had 3, but Heathers also had 3. There was 3 Heathers. There was the main Heather, and then there was 2 other ones. So, I know that the producer had said that's where Heather's name comes from, is the movie Heathers. But that's probably why there's a 3-person alliance too.
Had no idea.
I was saying that like Lindsay was just like Karen from Mean Girls, like the ditzy blonde.
Yes, and then Beth was like the other
Beth
one.
was supposed to be the Gretchen who at least stood up to her. Yeah, I totally see it.
So, just going to other parts of this challenge so far. I mean, without going into too much detail, Owen's doing his little shtick again. That he's a super hunter, just like he did with the bear challenge. And he's just spending this entire episode trying to hunt down DJ for the most part. DJ is like the super deer.
I
know. And Owen is just failing, but he's trying so hard.
Oh, Owen.
He finally catches up to him, and right when he's about to shoot him, he realizes that he ran out of paintballs, and DJ throws him off the cliff, and that goes, basically Owen fails at that. But that's what we see with that for a little bit. So revisiting the whole Beth saga, I mean, she's walking back with Cody actually this time, because Cody's like, "Oh, well, where'd you get the chips?" And she's like, basically, you could tell she's just done with Heather. She's like, "Yeah, I took them." Finally get back, and Heather's like, "What took you so long?" Like, she's being very rude. She finally gets the chips from Beth. She's like, "These are the wrong kind. There's only 11 in here. What's going on?" And she's like, "Go give me more." And Beth is like, "No." This sets Heather off. She's like, "I'm not getting your chips anymore. I'm done being your slave." And then she basically Cody takes the chips and then he leaves. That's an important. That's important. So we're gonna revisit that. But yeah, they're just having this whole argument, and it's funny because when Beth finally leaves to continue with the challenge, you have Bridget and Harold like watching from a distance, and they just shoot Heather, and she's like, "Charlie horse," and
Charlie horse, and it's like falls down. I feel like everybody at this point is just like hates Heather. Like everybody is like ganging up on her, even her own teammates.
Like if this was real Survivor, Heather would not be there. Like,
oh no, she'd be gone so fast.
There's a theory out there, a fan theory, that production continuously helped her. Like she shouldn't be able to be this mean and still be in the game.
Oh, they're rigging the game for her.
Yeah, that's what people think. Because like, there's theories out there that production's rigging for Heather.
She's she's the Muna of the game.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying Muna's mean, but
yeah, obviously.
Nice.
No, she's really nice. But
everyone's saying that they were like, "Oh, Muna got the game rigged for it." No,
I'm like, bitch, please. Like,
yeah. Oh, funny point. Lindsay finally brings the blueberry. She slaps him out of her hand. She's like,
yeah. Oh my god.
So, Heather and Lindsay go back to Beth. And they're like, "Oh, well, sorry, Heather, not Lindsay. I mean, she's there, but like Heather's putting words in the mouth." She's like, "All right, we'll give you another chance to be an alliance, just as only if you agree to do what I say from now on." And Beth is like, "No, why would I do that?" And then Heather is basically just like, "All right, I'm done with you." And they just start arguing. And it seems like they're about to like throw hands or something.
Yeah.
But luckily, Lashana is also in the area with glasses, and she can't see that good. Yeah. It's the hunter glasses. And she shoots Heather with the paintball, thinking that she's on the other team. She's like, "Oops, sorry about that." And it just gets ugly from there, because basically Heather takes Beth's gun, and then they just start shooting at each other. They're basically doing open fire on their own team. They're doing the other team's job for them. But it seems like Lashana and Beth are starting to bond now from this point. Yeah. But it seems like Beth is officially anti-Heather. What do you think this means? I mean, you already know what it means for her game, but before you saw what it meant for her game, how did you feel about Beth finally switching sides?
I was so excited whenever she like first got into it, and she actually kept being like, "No, I'm not going to work with you anymore." I was really stoked for her. I was like, finally, she's like, because we were trying to figure out like who was going to turn on the alliance. Like, there's no way it was going to last forever. And so it makes more sense that Beth would than Lindsay, because Lindsay just kind of, does whatever. But seeing her actually do it was really cool. And I was really hoping that her and Lashana would make their own alliance and like go after them like in the future. That's what I was really hoping for at that point.
Exactly. So we're seeing these weird confessionals starting with Cody, where he's in a body cast.
In the middle of the episode, I was like, wait, why?
To be honest with you, I forgot Cody was even on the show. Like he had a storyline of the nerd that was like crushing on Gwen. But then out of nowhere he just became like who? And like it just all ended, and then like
honestly it's like since we started doing this rewatch with Lance and Sab, I never noticed this because I'm like people hype Cody up so much, but I'm like watching TDI until the last episode that we just watched, Sabrina. Cody was so irrelevant. I'm like, yo, I don't remember Cody being so irrelevant.
Like the last episode, he actually had like a pretty good storyline, and so like it made more sense. But then, I mean, whatever.
Just out of nowhere, yeah.
Like he was in with because the last episode was when they went to Boney Island, and then he was like he helped Trent because he knew that he couldn't get Gwen, and then what was it? The other episode wasn't there an episode where he?
The other episodes he was just irrelevant. He was just irrelevant.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of.
I thought in the talent show he had an episode. He didn't.
No, he's been at the bottom of their tier list. Yeah.
Oh. I just don't remember. I guess I just remember the other seasons where I'm not gonna really talk about it.
Yeah, but it's just like it seems like dang, like Cody's so irrelevant in the first season. So I'm like, wow.
But you know what? That's why like they were able to do seasons with the same characters, because there's so many characters that like you don't really like, but the ones that have been eliminated so far, like Tyler's another one that I remember. He had like one episode and then that was it. Like
pretty much.
Yeah.
Tyler.
So basically Cody, like we talked about, has the chips and he's dropping them behind him. He has no idea. He sees berries, and then basically there's a bear there, and after you see the body cast, it's kind of like, all right, I think we know what happened with that. But so far, the episode so far, it seems like the main focus has been on the killer bass. So we finally see the inside on the gophers for a little bit. And basically, it's really just Duncan and Courtney doing their thing again, where blatantly flirting unintentionally or whatever. This time they get their horns stuck together. And Duncan tries to like nonchalantly like flirt with her, and she kicks him in the balls. Okay. Yeah. Do you think that this Courtney Duncan thing is it going to be a thing, or is it just like an in the moment type thing? Because I know that originally at the beginning you guys had Courtney as like this huge game player, and the edit was actually showing that as well.
Yeah. No, I think it'll be a thing. I think because it's already been like a couple of episodes of them like building it up, like how can it not be a thing at this point? Like, I don't know. I see it continuing for sure.
What do you see? How do you think do you think it's going to even affect like Courtney and Duncan, or like?
I don't know, because like it seems like because when it was Tyler and Lindsay, that became like a problem with Lindsay's game, because Heather was like, you can't do that, right? And then when Gwen and Trent started getting together, it also became kind of a problem for her game, like socially as well. And so, but now it seems like with Courtney and Duncan, it's becoming more obvious, and it's not really like affecting their games at all. Like nobody's really said anything about it, or like tried to like hurt them, or anything like that. So maybe it'll help them. Maybe it'll bring them new connections. I don't know.
All right. So to continue on with this whole paintball fight going on, they're still shooting each other, and then the other team starts shooting them as well, and then Chris is like, all right, the challenge is over, everybody come back. And basically what we find out is that Chris is just like, all right, you guys were basically not following the rules. You were shooting each other with the paintballs and stuff. Owen didn't get anybody. It was just a mess. Yeah. But he's like, this is awesome for ratings.
Yeah, for real. He's like, good TV, guys.
but basically, the killer bass loss. Obviously, they did horrible. And I think this is like the.
No, Screaming Gophers lost.
Screaming Gophers. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Did they win the last? No, they lost the last challenge. So it's just
they've been on a losing streak.
Yes. So wow. So you go into confessionals and you think, oh, Heather is just done. Like no one likes Heather, like Sabrina's been saying. And then you see the confessionals. They're all like, yeah, I hate Heather, but Cody really isn't useful in challenges anymore.
He's literally in a body cast. Like,
it sucks because it's such a shitty reason to vote someone off. But I think it was just that he got mauled by a bear, and people were like, well, okay, Heather, this
has literally happened in Survivor, where they vote off the injured player. So like it's a thing. And so it's like real. So like I get it. I understand why they did it. And I also felt like she wasn't going to go anyways, because she is such a character for the show. And it's another Edgic thing where like they're not going to kick her off now. Like they're going to keep her till merge at least. Like there's no way.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's unfortunate, because if that didn't happen in theory, Yeah, I think Heather would have left. Like I think she was scared for once, you know.
Yeah.
I just remember being like, why would Owen vote Cody off? Because those two, like in all the scenes, they always seem to be like, you know, chummy with each other. Like they went cannonballing into the pool with the water with each other. So I just thought, I remember when I watched that episode, watching Cody like get votes, I was like, what?
I mean, the Owen's votes are very weird up to now, because like even with the Justin vote, like Heather was like, I just needed to give him cake, and then he fell for it.
Is he sheeping Heather? Like to me, it seems like he's just sheeping Heather.
Yeah,
I think it's funny. Like of all people, like he's probably the nicest person on the island, and he's sheeping the meanest one. I just think that's hilarious.
Because she's a manipulator. Like, I mean, she's just manipulating him, you know. So the last thing we see, Beth is helping Cody leave, and she's like, I'm sorry, but oh look, I got this idol, but you know, it's my lucky charm. He's like, wait, is that from Boney Island? Like, yo, so rip, you know, this idol thing that she has is very relevant. So that's episode 9. So
she said, bye Cody, take care, and then she went with her brace face
things into the
I was like, and then she pushed him into the ocean and like didn't give a shit. I was like, okay Beth, like I'm like, I'm concerned for Cody, like is he okay? Like let his ass drown like in the water of Wawanakwa.
So the next episode is the cooking episode. Honestly, an interesting episode.
This is a good one. This is a really good episode.
So, honestly, it's honestly my favorite part about this is Harold, but I mean we're going to talk about it. So it starts off, Duncan is going to do his push-ups when he gets out of bed, and Harold's stained underwear is just right in front of his face.
Disgusting. What? Why?
It's like, I totally get this, because this is something that happens at fucking summer camp. Like, it really does. You got that one asshole that doesn't clean up after himself and leaves his fucking stanky fucking underwear stained, by the way. He probably shit himself at some point in the last challenge.
Thing? I think it's just a teenage boy thing. Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't do that, but yeah.
Disclaimer from me.
I didn't do that, you know, but I feel you. I just need to set the record.
Hold on, I just got a message.
Oh no, you're good. So DJ and Duncan and Jeff are like, yo, you gotta stop leaving your underwear and all this nasty stuff. He's like, it's not mine. It says you're literally, your mom sewed your name inside your box.
Exactly.
But he just doesn't admit it. So basically they decide that they're going to spend the day completely teaching Harold a lesson no matter what. Dylan, I'm going to meet you real quick. So basically what happens is we go to the challenge, and like I said, you know, a delivery truck is over, and we find out that the challenge is, it's almost like a Hell's Kitchen. It's which is, it's fun to see them continuing the reality TV parodies.
It's really cool. Also, how I feel, okay, the scene of them driving the truck out of the water with the dolphin was one of the most random scenes of the entire show. I was like, what is happening right now? Like, that was so weird.
That was one of the scenes that makes you remember, oh wait, this is a cartoon. Like, like, what is going? He could have had Chef in another outfit or something. You know, he just had to have a
opportunity, because he was he wasn't even in this episode.
Oh wow! In the food competition, was he?
Literally, whose name is Chef, wasn't in the food episode.
I mean, Chef makes nasty food. This is about making good food.
Okay, but still, he was in last episode with little floaty and little like goggles.
Yeah, goggles and everything. Yeah, missed opportunity, actually, now that I think about it. They could have had judges and, oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm muted. I said, I just realized, Chef wasn't in the episode.
It's missed opportunity. So, basically, Chris says you have to make 3-course meals. Whoever scores the highest in all 3 wins the challenge. And everyone has to have a head chef. Literally Hell's Kitchen. But, yeah, everyone needs a head chef. So, Heather says, we're on a losing streak. I'm taking it into my hands this time. So she's like, I'm head chef. And then over here, we see, what was it, Jeff, who said that, he wanted to be the head chef. So those are the team captains. So it's cool. We see it's Killer Bass. That's the one with Duncan and all them, right? I'm getting my teams mixed up now.
Yes.
Killer Bass, yeah. So we're seeing that team. And they're very kumbaya. Everyone seems to be on the same page. Mine is like Harold, because like I said, they're going to mess with Harold.
Yeah.
We're seeing Bridget and DJ team up to work on something on pasta. Harold and Sadie are going to be working together on
the antipasta, the
appetizers. There you go. And then lastly, everyone else is going to work on the main course meals and stuff like that. Courtney is just ranting about Duncan a lot. Like
through like everything that she's saying.
Yeah, like she just hates Duncan.
That's when you know, like that she likes him, because that's how it is. Like you try to like find all the things that you dislike about them to make it seem like you don't like them, but like it's just overkill. Like, yeah, that's just classic. Agreed.
You know, they have a love-hate relationship, but it may work out so far. Sure. And before we go to the other team, DJ literally, a part of the guy's scheme, he gets a pan of water and he's walking, and then he accidentally spills it on Harold's pants. He's like,
accidentally,
right? He's like, way to go, Dorcahontas. I'm like,
Oh, and also last episode, remember Heather called Lindsay Lynn's idiot? I was like, wow, okay.
Everyone's getting so personal now. It's so
seriously,
funny.
all these ugly names. Like, oh my goodness.
like he's such a blatant ripoff of Napoleon Dynamite.
It's so like 100%. When he was in the bed, like, gosh. I was like, okay, that's literally Napoleon Dynamite.
So he's gonna go change his pants, and you know the guys are like, oh yeah, and Bridget's like idiots. So we go to the other team. It seems like it's semi-structured right now. You know, Heather's running the kitchen. Like the other team, it's like a group effort. This team, it's like Heather's telling everybody what to do. So we're gonna see what strategy works the best. We go back to the other team and the Killer Bass, and finally, you know, they're cooking. DJ tries to put a good word in to Bridget for Jeff. Again, like they're really trying this, because like she doesn't seem interested. They are trying to get these two together. Jeff fails again, because what did he say in this episode?
He was like, "You look like my friend's hot mom." she's just like whenever she's like not around him, she seems interested. Like she likes him from afar.
Yeah.
But as he opens his mouth, she's like, no, never mind.
like real quick, Dylan, you're not in on the joke, but Lance's thing, he does not like Jeff, first of all. But when he sees Jeff, he calls him Jeff with a G, because he thinks he's so stupid. Yeah, he calls him Jeff with a G. So
I mean, Jeff's not my favorite character, but like, I mean, Jeff's like all right. Like
looking back, like I'm really, my eyes are opening about a lot of these characters rewatching this. It's like I know it's their first time watching it, but this is like the 1,000th time I'm watching this, but for like it's been a while, you know. And I'm like, wow, like I'm starting to see a lot of these characters are actually very flawed. Like I remember like Cody being so great, and I'm like, Cody kind of sucks. I'm like, Jeff,
you have to watch.
Like Jeff kind of sucks too. I'm like.
Jeff is, I mean, I've always viewed Jeff as like an character throughout the whole show. I mean, in the later seasons, you get to see a little bit more, but like Jeff is just, at the end of the day, Jeff is just a surfer dude, and it's like, it is what it is, you know? He's just supposed to be, whatchamacallit.
He's just a bro.
Yeah.
He's the bro.
Like an archetype, basically.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to the Gophers. I mean, you know, they got to throw some plot device somewhere for flirting. So you got Gwen and Trent are making ribs, and you know they're flirting. Okay.
Yeah.
This is the main course meal, let me tell you. So this is the most important part of the entire course, but we're going to get to that. So Heather has it's Owen. to go get some oranges. But there's a beehive where the truck is, and he gets completely stung, but he gets the crate of oranges. And for some reason, he thinks it's a smart idea to throw the oranges to Trent, and he hits him in the head.
I know, my God.
He's medevac for the rest of the challenge.
I just think it's so funny.
There's like so many worse injuries that have happened, and then he gets medevaced for this, like oranges. Like I don't.
It's just like poor Trent. Like Trent is just like trying to like
Seriously.
do the challenge, and it's like
fine. Poor guy.
This whole episode, I've never seen in like any show such a hot mess of a team. You got Owen eating the fucking thing.
We're gonna get there.
Like this whole episode was just a mess.
Well, the best part, because Sabrina, you didn't experience this. You're watching this on Netflix. The best part is when he throws it. He does throw it at his head. It goes on commercial break, like it's like like basically like we'll be back.
Oh my gosh, that'd have been so good. That'd have been so good.
Commercial break right
Yeah.
then. I'm like, ooh.
Oh my gosh.
And then it's like after the commercial break, they're like, "Oh shit, well we had to evac him. Sorry."
Great.
And I was just like, "Fucking great!" Now we lost Trent. Like,
everyone's getting hurt now. Like if you look at it,
I know.
and you got LaShawn have like breaking out because it's just
I know, the pineapple.
Oh, yeah.
Pineapple. It's so fucked. It's like
it's horrible.
Cooking challenge, and everybody's getting injuries. Like, what's happening here?
It's messed up because Heather knows that she has an allergic reaction, but she's still making it like,
the thing
her, by the way.
this is like the first challenge they've done that isn't like death defying. Like you're not jumping off a cliff.
Right, exactly.
You're not shooting each other with paintballs. You're literally just baking, and they're getting the most hurt on this shit.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like
they're a mess.
It's really funny looking back at it.
So we're gonna go see the Killer Bass again. They're all working on their dishes. Harold honestly can't find any of his underwear, but he finds one pair, and it's like some extreme like tidy whitey thong type thing. It's red.
Terrible.
It's like, it's your time to shine. But they took his pants too. So
I just give kudos to him because like even though they're doing everything to like embarrass him, he's still going with it. He's like, I'm just gonna come in here and wear them, whatever. Like I thought that was
like, hey, it's like if you want to see it, there you go. Like
he was like, if you want to see me naked, then you gotta take off my clothes. I'll be here. Like
the best part is when Chris is updating the team. He's like,
yeah, he's like, oh.
He's like, oh god.
So what happened after that? I'm trying to remember because he did go back to get more underwear.
Yeah, because they were like, fine, you'll find a fresh pair of underwear in the room.
And this it's underwear, but it has hot sauce on it.
Whenever we picked it up, I thought it was another like poop stained underwear, and I was like, oh, it's just this normal underwear. And then they saw like hot sauce, and I was like, oh no. I was like,
how did you not see that?
And then he runs into the fucking ocean.
I know,
the best part is like, idiots.
Yeah, idiots. Gosh.
Oh my god! But that's not the only thing that's on fire because then Heather. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. That's right. So Heather basically is sick and tired of her team. Lindsay doesn't know how to flambe. So basically, she's showing her, and she accidentally burns her eyebrows off, and it's like, oof. So basically, everyone's laughing at her, and she's like, "Shut up, Owen, go get my eyeliner." He's like, "The bees." She's like, "I don't care." Go get them.
She said, "No."
It's like, would you rather deal with angry Heather, or would you rather deal with the bees? Like, I'd rather deal with Heather.
Whenever Owen came back for the second time after the bees, and when he was all puffy, like I actually laughed. Like I laughed. It was just like this puffy mess, like coming in the door. Like I got to make it.
And it's horrible because he's like, he steps on the rakes. Like now that I'm thinking about it,
oh my god, he actually like stabbed his foot.
Yeah, like now that I'm looking back, the entire team is cursed because of it is because the idol is not just Beth, it's the entire team. So I'm like,
Ooh, it is
Oh.
actually I never even thought about that.
yeah, right.
It was the bad luck from the thing. It wasn't just like because too much shit went on.
Yeah, it
Nothing
was
bad
like
actually
everything.
happened to Beth either. It was
It was like their
all
whole team.
yeah.
It literally was everything happened to some like Heather got her eyebrows, Trent got a concussion, Lashani had an allergic reaction, Owen got stung like a million times. What
I
happened
think
today?
Lindsay and Gwen were fine, but they just lost a challenge.
Well, no, Lindsay had Heather cuss her out basically. Heather was like so angry at her. And then what happened to Gwen? Did anything happen?
Nothing. I mean, I guess like maybe the ribs, sorta. I mean, she made the ribs and then they got eaten.
Yeah, her dish got eaten, I guess.
Sure.
Yeah, I guess.
Take it.
So we go back to the bass, and basically, Harold's like, I'm out of underwear. Like, all I have left is my pajamas. So if you want to see me butt naked.
My question is, why did you choose the thong before the pajamas? Like, that makes it even funnier.
Exactly.
Well, he didn't. He jumped in the ocean, or he jumped in a lake with his clothes. So maybe that's why he wore that.
Oh,
his clothes were wet.
Yeah.
But basically what happens is Jeff is like, I'm sorry, you know what? I have an apology gift for you. I made you some sandwiches. He eats one of the sandwiches and then he finds a pair of his underwear inside there.
I'm sorry. That's just nasty on both ends. Like, firstly, you're nasty for not checking the sandwich first. Like, there's no way you did not see that.
Yeah,
like,
especially since they're messing with him the entire time. Like,
yes, you should know. You should know by now.
But it's also messy on Jeff's part. You picked that shit up, like, for real. I wouldn't touch that. You couldn't pay me.
Jeff with a G.
Jeff with a
G. So we go, both teams honestly are, you're right, Dylan, they are a mess this episode. So we go back to the Gophers. Let's speed up some of this real quick. So basically they're like, I'm tired of Heather like bossing us around and stuff, and Owen finally comes back with the eyeliner. What they do is they're all tossing it around. They're like, I'm sick of you telling us what to do, Heather. And basically they throw it inside the freezer and she's like, Lindsay, go get it. Or like she holds the door open and then Lindsay closes it on her and then like Heather's stuck in the freezer. Little did they know that like the challenge is basically over and you're like, ooh. So like they rush and get something together and it's time to rate the challenge. Heather's a mess. The flambe is terrible. The only thing that's working for them right now is like the ribs. So we'll see how that goes. So we get to the actual judging of the food. Just fast forward with it because I mean, who really cares about the actual food? So basically, Chris likes the fish dish that they made, that the bass made, and then he likes the pasta that the killer bass made the most. So they get 1 point there. The second round, it's the dessert, and basically the other team, the bass, they win that one, so there's a point. So it's 1-1. It's basically depending on the final course. And what happens is Owen in the kitchen has been eating the ribs literally this entire time, and they don't have anything but a chunk of beef on the bone.
Right.
So it's their chunk of beef versus the other team's horrible, what is it? It's like a burnt flambe, and it's like this is just a mess at this point. Chris
chokes on the flambe.
Yeah, he chokes on the flambe. So you're gonna tell me a chunk of meat beats at least something? It's
no. It was the custard. It was the custard thing that beat.
That's right. Yeah, it is just like, ugh. But
he Chris could have eaten like the tangerines that are on the side, though.
Something. Right? It's not the actual meal though. I mean, they gotta make something.
But they shouldn't have even, like, once Heather's eyebrows got lit up, y'all needed a backup. Like, just don't flambe. Just serve it as a cake or something.
Honestly.
So finally, we see the results of the challenge, and the Gophers lose for the third time in a row, and it's horrible because they actually started off really good, but wow. Heather's like, we lost. You guys are idiots. Like, why did you lock me in there? And she basically, she makes good with Lindsay again, but she's like, if you ever side with Gwen and Lashana again, like, I'm gonna. What did she say? She was gonna
chop her hair off.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't even think Heather is out of pocket tonight because like her team really that was. I mean, she deserved it, but her team should have been focused on the challenge. And honestly, I feel like Owen really let the team down. Beth with that damn idol.
I forgot to even get to that. Yeah, that's the whole point. When they were doing a presentation, he saw the idol and he was like, where'd you get that from? She said Boney Island. He's like, the place I told you guys not to take anything. And to be honest, I feel bad for her because
I do too, because she didn't know.
Yeah, and Chris kind of set her up there, but you know what? Whatever.
Yeah.
If this idol wasn't here, because obviously, I mean, real quick, Beth gets voted out. Obviously, it's the bad juju. But if Beth didn't have that idol, I think Owen probably would have left here, right?
I think so.
I mean, he ate the ribs, or do you think of Heather?
I still think Heather would have, because I think it was just 2 bad times in a row for her. So, like, I think she had a really good shot of leaving, and she almost did leave. It was like it was almost between her and Beth.
Mm-hmm.
And then, what was I gonna say?
I think that well, I don't think the producers would have let her go, but I feel like I don't know, to be honest. I don't think the show would have cut her, but like the contestants probably would have.
Yeah.
And then whenever Lindsay was in the bathroom doing confessional, she was laughing about it. She's like, I can't believe we locked her in the freezer. That was awesome. So like maybe she's gonna start to like maybe rise up a little bit and like challenge Heather a little bit more in the future, which I'm hoping to see.
Heather has no friends here. So I mean, at the end of the episode, before we even end off there, Harold wakes up, basically he's naked in front of all the girls in the middle of the and he's like, I'm done putting my underwear. I won't do it again. He's like, all right, like, we're going to stop messing with you. So, I mean, poor Harold.
I know.
But, he's just trying to leave. But that is episode 9 and 10. Before we continue, Sabrina, so your rating of episode 9.
I really like that episode. I would say a solid 8. That was a good one.
Yeah. And how about 10?
I think pretty similar, but not quite as good. I'll say maybe like a 6.5 or a 7.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dylan, how about you? Out of curiosity, what would you rate 9 and 10?
See, the thing is that like both of these episodes are really good, but also so are the upcoming ones. But I feel like I would rate episode 9. I'd give that like maybe a 7 or an 8. But the last one I would give like a 9 or a 10, just because I thought
the messiness.
Because it was just so funny, like looking back at it, and I think that they did a good job because the other team was also interesting. I thought, like we got to see like Duncan and Courtney kind of like a little bit of love, a little bit, like they were getting along, but it's just. This shit was just really funny. Like,
and also I forgot to mention the little detail of whenever Heather had to draw her eyebrows on, and they were like totally like not what she normally wears.
Oh my god!
But then whenever she was in the confessional room, when she was going to vote out like Beth, she put her hands on her face and she brought them down, and her eyebrows were on her hands.
Oh yeah,
a little detail that I noticed. I was like, that's really good. Like,
wait, so her real eyebrows were on her hand?
No, so she drew on her eyebrows, like, because they were,
Oh, like, so that's why they were fucked up, was because she like put her.
She drew them on, she drew them on, and they looked really weird, and so she put her hands on her face and brought them down, and the impression of like what she drew was on her hands.
That's funny.
So like transferred.
So we're gonna move to our tier list. Sabrina, like I said, you're alone this week, so. You have all the power. Dylan, you can put your input in with commentary, but as far as placement, Sabrina, you have all the power for the first time this series. So,
I think Lance will have it next week because I will be out of town next week.
Okay. All right.
Lance will get it, so we'll figure out our own list then. Okay. So
real quick. Let me update the placement real quick. So Cody.
I know. Not good.
The second time
he had a really good episode last time, so that's why we bumped him up.
And you guys made a good call putting Beth at 3.
Yeah. Poor
Because
Beth. And what sucks is that if Beth didn't go home, I was gonna move her up.
Yeah, I know. You guys did say that. You did say that.
Damn it. That sucks.
So
okay.
from the top to the bottom, not that much, we're starting to get down to it. But all right, so Owen. Let's see. He was the first challenge, he was just like the comedic relief like usual, but he was trying. In the second episode, he was doing a lot of Heather's bidding, but everybody was. But the only L he took was eating the ribs, but he still didn't go home. So
that's why he still has the social grasp on this game. I feel like he's the comedic relief. Everybody enjoys that, and it seems like when he has interactions, they're always really lighthearted. All the other campers are like, "Oh, he's pretty cool. He's funny, whatever." And even when he ate the ribs, nobody was really that mad at him. So that's a good thing for his own game. So he had a lot of obviously screen time in both episodes as per usual. He has had the most screen time probably of anybody. And so that's something to say for his game too. So I'm tempted to keep him there just because I think he's in a really good position. He's never been in trouble with a vote. So yeah.
Something I noticed too is that there's kind of a clique of Lashana, Trent, Owen, and Gwen on that tribe, on that team that I was noticing when I was looking at little parts of the episode.
Yeah, and that's good for him.
All right, so Owen stays in S. Gwen, quiet 2 episodes actually.
Yeah, not really much of anything. I think I'm gonna move her down to A.
Oh, okay.
But I'm gonna put her behind Courtney.
Behind, okay.
Yeah. Because I still think she's got the potential there. Nothing bad happened with her, but just didn't really do much. Nothing really helping her game at this point. I'm gonna put Courtney still there at A because I do think her connection with Duncan is going to help her as compared to the other relationships that have not been helpful to those people. Yeah. So I'm gonna keep her at A.
Okay.
Let's see.
Duncan, he obviously him and Courtney keep flirting, but it's not a relationship or anything. But then it seems like he's starting to establish some sort of friendship with Jeff and DJ here too.
Yes, and I think that helps him a lot too, because whenever he came into the game, he wasn't exactly like Gwen, who was I hate everybody, but you could tell he was kind of standoffish and didn't really care that much. But he's being a lot more friendly with a lot of the guys on his tribe or camp or whatever. So I think that can propel him. I kind of want to put him at A, but behind Gwen.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll move him up.
Duncan finally moves to A.
Yeah.
All right. How about Heather? We said 2 episodes of people hating her, but she's still there.
She's still there, and that's.
I think her edge was the Alliance too, and she lost Beth. So
yeah, and that sucks for her because she had those 2 little minions. Now she's only got 1. But the fact that she's still there definitely shows that she still's got something left. I think I'm gonna keep her in B, but I don't know if I'm gonna put her. Where am I gonna put her exactly? I'll keep her in B for now.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just keep
her.
How
about there. Trent? Because he also, like Gwen, had 2 quiet episodes. The second one he got hurt, but yeah.
I don't know. I'm tempted to put. I kind of want to put him at the beginning of C. He's in the middle for me between B and C. It's just because these past 2 episodes, I didn't really get much development from him, where he stands in the game. So I'm just going to keep him there.
Okay. It seems like your upper echelon takes turns being relevant every 2 episodes.
Yeah, and that's kind of that's why I'm kind of I don't know, because it does change every few episodes.
Yeah.
I want to move Lindsay up to B, but behind Heather, because I feel like there's something coming with her. I feel like she's going to turn on Heather. It's starting to brew, I feel like, and I want it to happen. So I'll just put her there for now.
Yeah. Next is Harold. He's kind of being messed with by all the other guys, and no one's really taking him seriously, even though he carried them those 2 challenges earlier in the season. 3, technically, because of the talent show. They do not respect Heather. Harold, though. So
so I feel like Harold could go two ways. He could either be an easy vote out, or he could hide behind those meat shields. So there's that direction he could go, and he's proven to be decent at challenges. He's not terrible, and he kind of takes everything in stride, which I like. He wasn't like super like really embarrassed by anything that they did to him, except for of course being like naked. But I mean,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna keep him right there.
All right.
He's still in the upper part of that C.
All right. Next is DJ. Like we said, he has the guys that he's been broing out with. I mean, it seems him and Bridget are friends. DJ.
Yeah, I think I'm going to keep him right where he is because he is still, making this new alliance. I feel it's going to become an alliance. Him and Duncan and Jeff. I feel like that's something there. And he's friends with Bridget, trying to help him or Bridget and Jeff out. So he's got another special connection there. I think he's slowly moving his way up. I think he's slowly getting into the groove of things and like actually making these relationships and trying in the challenges. Like he did well in the challenge. Like he was able to evade Owen. So that was good. So he's starting to do a lot better. And then obviously his team won for the cooking challenge too. So he's doing pretty decent. I think I'll switch him and Harold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next is your D-listers. There's 4 more. So Lashana. I mean, the first episode she was making friends with Beth, but I mean Beth is gone now, so it doesn't really matter. The next one, I mean, her and Heather are beefing, but when everyone was backing Lashana up. So I mean,
and that's why I'm wondering if maybe she can pull in Lindsay and like maybe together, like maybe she like how she did with Beth, maybe she can do the same with Lindsay. And I think she's getting to the point where she just is so fed up with Heather, she'll do what she can to stop Heather. And I think she could flip some people. So I want to move her up to C.
Okay.
And I want to put her behind DJ.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think she's gonna get some more like social connections, and she's starting to like I guess get her like people with her. So yeah, I can see it.
Bridget. I mean, not really much development. I mean, she just still has that awkward thing going on with Jeff. But I mean, people seem to like her. So I mean, if that's something.
Yeah, I don't know. She did good in the first challenge because she got Heather, and then I guess she did decent too in the second challenge. But besides that, like I feel like everybody else above them has just more like social connections than she does. Like she's like that weird thing with Jeff. She's got a little bit of friendship with DJ, but that's about it. Like there's not really like any strong alliances that she's got going on. So I'm gonna keep her where she's at.
All right. And then Sadie, yeah.
Move her at the bottom, the end. Poor thing. It sucks because like I really wanted, like me and Lance really wanted her to like rise up after Katie went home. We were hoping to like once they were separated, the other one left would like go for it and like get revenge or whatever and like be ready to go. But she hasn't done anything, so I'm gonna put her at the bottom. Poor thing.
And lastly, Jeff. I mean,
Jeff with a G.
Jeff with a G. I mean, he has his awkward thing with Bridget, but like we said, him and DJ and Duncan, I mean, they have a friendship, but there's no alliance there. But I mean,
I think it'll turn into something. All right, at least I hope it does, because like we're really only seeing like one like legitimate alliance, and that's Heather and her cronies. Like it's not like there's no other like real thing going on. So I'm hoping it turns into something, so it's a little more like interesting. But I think I will put Jeff with a G above Bridget because I still feel like the last 2 episodes he was a little more relevant than she was.
All right.
And then what was he? Was he a hunter or a deer for the first challenge? I can't even remember.
Jeff was a hunter.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm gonna go.
And is Chef still better than Chris Rio?
Always.
I love Chef.
He's my favorite character.
Same favorite character. Always.
So it seems like Owen is the only person still to being supreme.
Yep.
Has not dropped from S all season. So we'll see how that.
He brings it every episode. I love it.
And then you have Duncan joining Gwen and Courtney at A. So we'll see how Lance feels about that next week.
Yeah. This is
a good tier list.
Yeah. And then lastly, just to update your draft. So let's see. Lance lost Beth this episode. Wait, what? Well, first.
Why is Sadie in a bathing suit?
Oh yeah, yeah, because Cody went undrafted. So good call.
Oh, that's right. Because Cody went.
Lance is getting killed. Oh my god.
Yes, not a beautiful draft. But to be fair, he still has some powerhouses left in his team. So
he's got Owen and Heather and Courtney.
And Heather and Courtney. So I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up winning. Because those three.
I think
I'm very curious.
If the teams disband and there's a merge, then that might be where things get interesting. But
I agree.
You know, you are taking a very stern lead. You have 3 more than him, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that is the Total John podcast for this week. Real quick, Dylan, thanks for coming.
No
Dylan, what are you up to? I know you're done with your season now, so where can people find you? What you up to?
So I just finished I Love Money All Stars, which is my org, and my current plans are you can find me on Twitter at slightlybitta with an AH at the end of it. I'm planning to start doing Twitch streaming. I'm gonna do like Pokemon Nuzlocke and Steam games like Dead by Daylight. I'm trying to figure all that out. But right now my account is at Dylan Does with a Z, but I'm probably gonna rebrand that to Slightly Bitta as well. So just follow my Twitter at Slightly Bitta to keep up with all that. And I'm also going to start hosting minis again. So if you like playing minis, if you know what that is, then yeah, just stay tuned.
If you don't know what that is, still stay tuned and get into it. Sabrina, where can people find you?
Instagram and Twitter, Sabrizi2492. I'm not super exciting, but I'm there and I'm lurking all the time. And be on the lookout for the Penthouse season 4. We are filming soon, and so hopefully it'll be on your screens in the next few months. I'm really excited to get this cast finalized and ready to get started with it. So it's gonna be great.
All right. And lastly, like usual, you can find me at 8 Ball Bangers with the number 8 and then Ball Bangers on Twitter, Instagram, and all that fun stuff. And if you are listening elsewhere, you can find us on YouTube or Twitch now at Silent Podcasts. Tomorrow we have this is going to be a stack week. So tomorrow, first we should be having Carrie back on with Leandro to finish off her recap of the week of Celebrity Circle. She should be finishing that off sometime in the afternoon, so look out for that, as well as Sarah Yell doing her first episode of the Big Brother Hangout with guest Sean Dario. So that should be fun. And then after that, you should find us on Wednesday back with an episode of Anime Clubhouse where we should be talking about possibly Dr. Stone or something like that. I don't know yet. We're looking into it. But you should see me there with Josh and Noah. Next, we should be also on Wednesday. Me, Abby, Sasha, and Geneva should be talking about Temptation Island episode 5, I believe. So that should be interesting. And then lastly, join us on Friday where we will be, I will be joining the Big Brother group. I will be joining Ganjo, Sarah, Jeanette, and Cheyenne, and we will be talking about the week 3 of Big Brother Canada. It should be very interesting because they are very chaotic and very messy. So look out for all of that. And then we'll be back here next Monday, and I should be with Lance, and Sabrina will be elsewhere. So until then, keep a lookout on all socials and have a good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.